Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I have the DJI Mavic 3 with me today, and the folks at Freewell sent me a filter kit for this guy. So what do we have here? We have the Anamorphic and wide angle filter kit. Now, what I'm going to tell you is I have done a test with the anamorphic filter before on my Air 2S, and I'll put a link to that video below. But what I'm really interested in today is the wide angle lens that this provides. And not only that, do they add, in addition to the anamorphic and wide angle, they add ND filters and an 8, a 16, a 32, and a 64 that are specifically designed for these two lens additions. So let's talk a little bit about what the anamorphic lens does. What anamorphic is it's that cinema wide view that was kind of invented in the 50s. The big widescreen movie theaters that were invented because back then they were worried about competing with TV, those fuzzy little TVs that they had back then. However, that's how that came about, and you can get that same look with the anamorphic lens. Now, what you have to do is you have to de-squish it in post-processing. So there is some post-processing work involved, but if you're looking for that look, that is something that you'd be interested in. And also with the anamorphic lens, you can get some interesting blue lens flare with it that is quite popular, and you've seen in a few movies. However, again, we're not going to mess with the anamorphic lens today. We're going to put the wide angle lens on there, and we're going to go out here over Lucky Peak Reservoir and take a look at it and just see what that can do for us. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Mavic 3 first, and we're going to fly out over the lake, fly up the lake a little bit, and turn around and fly back and give you a look of what that looks like just with the standard lens. And then I will put the wide angle lens on there. I'll probably throw, there's some high clouds here. I'll probably just put the ND16 on there. It's a fairly bright day today. And then we can show you the difference in how that looks compared to just the standard lens on the drone. Should give us a wider field of view, and this is the perfect area where you're going to want a wide field of view. So let me grab the lens kit itself and give you a look at that. So this is the kit itself, and one of the cool things that Freewell always does is they give you a nice quality case, and in this case they little pun there. They really did a great job. So let me open this up and let you take a look at it. So what you see here is on the right, you see the anamorphic lens and then the wide angle lens on the left, and the ND filters on the top. And those ND filters are specifically made to go over the top of these lenses. In other words, you can't use these ND filters on your Mavic 3 by themselves. They are specifically made for these lenses. Now, Freewell does make an ND filter kit for the Mavic 3, so I'll have a link for that down below, as well as a link for this kit as well. So, in any case, let's quit messing around and let's get that bird in the air. Okay, I'm tilting the camera here so you can get a look at the drone, and we're waiting for satellites. It's been just a minute or so. Home point updated 10 satellites. That took maybe a minute, and I know for a fact that this is a challenging GPS environment here because I have seen it with other drones. So I'm just going to leave it in 4K 30, and well, you know what? I changed my mind. Let's go to 4K 60 because we are not going to be worried about any kind of zooming here. Yeah, I need to take it out of Explorer mode, and 4K 60, there we go. And then let's go through our safety menu really quick. And I have the sunshade on here, so it's a little bit clumsy for me. But yeah, we're in bypass mode. Return to home. Yeah, I'm going to set that really high because if we got behind one of these peninsulas or something, I would want the drone to have every opportunity to get over the top. Not that we're going to do that, but we're going to set that high. And with the intelligent return to home on this guy, it's only going to come home at the height it needs to be anyway, and it starts lowering as it comes in. So compass is normal, IMU is normal. Let's take a look at the battery real quick. Batteries, as you would expect, real good. 4.34 volts across the board, 11 cycles on that particular battery. So I cannot think of any reason why we can't take off. We do have 17 satellites, so we're going to start recording now. And I'm going to do an auto takeoff here on the app, maybe. There we go. Drone spins up and telling us we're in an altitude zone. We know that, so we're going to go straight up here. You know how DJI, to get a precision landing, they want you up about 7 meters or so. So there's about there's 7 meters exactly. So I'll let it sit there for just a second, and that also gives you a look at the reservoir, and there's a lot of boats out there. So what I'm going to tell you is this is the Thursday before Labor Day, or excuse me, Memorial Day weekend. So yeah, this lake is going to get, or reservoir is going to get really busy, I'm sure, by tomorrow, even if it's not right now. So let's go ahead and spin the drone. Let's bring it back down. Bring it back down in front of the camera here and let you take a look at it. Go up just a little bit more. And you know, there I'm standing. You can see me standing in the shade here because I want to make sure I can see this screen. And obstacle avoidance is definitely kicking in there. So yeah, and we are in normal mode. I can't think of any reason why we can't just do our usual droning right now. So revert. Let me pick this camera up, pick the GoPro up so you can see that a little bit. And yeah, reverse and up right now. Reverse and up. Yeah, it was a little clumsy there, but doing okay. And there we are, out over the... I just love this little peninsula, the viewpoint here. I don't know what all those cars, you see all those cars parked there. They must have been like a park and ride. They must have just stopped there and somebody picked them up, because there is nobody else on the viewpoint right now. So I don't know, let's start by going left so that you guys can take a look at the boat ramp and the dam. We're not going over the dam. That's critical infrastructure. We're not going to do that. This is an Army Corps of Engineers project here, and you do have to get a permit to fly here. But it's very easy to do. I found those guys at the Army Corps of Engineers to be very friendly, and they definitely were happy to help to accommodate a permit for me to fly here. So let's go. I'm just trying to think of the angle on the camera because I want to get it the same for both. We probably want a little further down than that. So we're going to set our angle at -6, and let's remember that so that when we test the wide angle lens, I'll set that angle the same. So one of the concerns this year is that because of water issues and snowpack, that they wouldn't be able to fully fill the reservoir. And as you can see, while it's not completely full, it's they definitely have filled it up a fair amount. And I can also tell you this, we've had a bunch of precipitation recently, and I know it increased snowpack in the mountains. And while even today is supposed to be in the 90s. We're supposed to get temps in the 90s later on this afternoon. Over the weekend, it's supposed to cool off a little bit in a bunch of precip, and it should be. They're even predicting that it's possibility of snow in the mountains. So that's just good for everything. So it keeps that snow from melting all at once, and then they just have to send the runoff, you know, downstream. you know, there's a lot of agriculture in this area, so it allows them to do this off-stream storage, which is what this reservoir is all about, as well as recreation. And then hopefully they can pick up this water level to the top so that all of these docks and picnic and overnight areas can be used for recreation. So I am going to center up on the middle of the path here, and we're going to go out there a ways. Let's just head out, and you know, we got plenty of battery, 86% battery. And so it'll be interesting to see what this looks like with that wide angle lens. How much more of a vision or an angle of the reservoir here are we going to see? And I think this is kind of a great way to demonstrate it. So we'll go out there far enough to give you a good demonstration. And interestingly enough, as always happens, my iPhone it just dimmed one level. I can still see okay, but boy, it just doesn't take that iPhone long. And you know, we're kind of breezy here, and I'm in the shade, but yet it's still the iPhone still begins to dim. So that's a good argument for that RC Pro, and I have a feeling that there's going to be an RC Pro in my future, because you just, you know, you've got to be able to see FPV. And of course we have that new DJI RC on the Mini 3 coming up, and that's pretty exciting. My Mini 3 has shipped, and I should have it by sometime this weekend. So I am really looking forward to that, and getting that guy home. So we're full stick forward in normal mode, about 15 meters per second, and I'm going to turn around here in just a second. Okay, we're going to turn this guy around, and I'm going to throw it in sport mode to get back here, and then we'll drop it down and we will install the filter on the drone. So let's center up on the peninsula that I'm at here. And again, we're leaving it at that 6-degree camera angle. And I'm going to put it in sport mode and full stick forward. And let's see how quickly we can get back here. That, of course, turns obstacle avoidance off, but obviously there's not a lot here that we need to worry about avoiding. And look at how quickly this guy is coming back. We're at 21 meters per second, so that's about 46, 47 miles an hour. Something like that. So it's the drone is not messing around. It's coming right back to us. So we'll set it down here, and we'll see what we can do with regard to with that wide angle lens. I'm sorry, stumbling over my tongue here, and see how it looks, and see what kind of a look we get at the reservoir with it. So. Man, this thing is, I'll tell you, just never underestimate the value of a powerful drone like the Mavic 3. I know I've heard a lot of people say, oh gosh, the Mini 3 is going to be the only drone they ever need. Yeah, maybe, but I'm just telling you, there is something to be said for a drone that has this kind of power and speed, that you can bring it back in situations like this. Okay, I'm going to throw it in cine mode here so that we can get it down and get it where we need to be. And I got eyes on the drone here. And we'll bring her forward here. And I'm not going to get too worried about hitting the pad exactly, because I've told you guys often that my depth perception isn't very good, so I'm just going to do this standing back here. I think that should be about right, and let's see how accurate I am. I'm going to go straight down on the left stick right now. Yeah, and I can see already I'm a little bit off, and it blew the pad around as it came down, which is kind of a little scary in and of itself. So yeah, so I was behind the pad. But again, I know a lot of you guys hand catch and so forth, and yeah, that's just not an option for me because of that depth perception. Anyway, let's get the filter on this guy and we'll try this out again. Hey, okay, I just wanted to show you what the filter looks like here, and then here is the ND16, and I am just going to snap that in place on the front of the filter. So I've got the ND16 on top of the wide angle filter. And I will point out that the telephoto lens on the top, that's just clear glass on that. Okay, just to kind of give you a close-up of, take a look at what the filter looks like on the drone. So yeah, let's quit messing around. Let's get this guy in the air. Hey, okay, we've got our home point here and everything looks good. So let's do an automated takeoff again. And again, I'm going to go up to that 7 meters high. We didn't do a attempt at precision landing last time, but maybe we will this time. So let's give it a good look. We're holding just about 7 meters there, giving it a look. Okay, reverse and up now. And let's get back out over that, over the reservoir here. And I can tell you this: my iPhone screen is pretty darn dim right now, so it's difficult for me just to tell you right off the bat here how much difference I can see in the wide angle. But I can see good enough to fly the drone. But let's head over to the boat ramp like we did on that first flight. And again, let's see, we need to get to that 6 degrees is where we're at. We wanted to have it the same angle. So there's that -6. And I'm going to adjust a little bit here. And there we go, heading towards the boat ramp. And we got out there, I think we got pretty close to it here. And I'm probably going a little faster than I did the last time, I suspect. But we'll get there. Yeah, almost. And then we'll turn around and we'll go straight, I don't know, up or down the reservoir, however you want to say that. I think this is about as far as we were previously. So let's spin it around. And we'll see if we can center up on the center of the reservoir, just like we did before. Yeah, that's about it. And we'll head this direction. So I am full stick forward in normal mode. We're at about 50% battery, so that's about right. And you know, looking at it, I can definitely tell that there is a wider angle to this shot. No doubt about it. It's definitely a wider field of view, and I think that's perfect for what we're doing here, to get you a good look at the reservoir. So my angle, I was probably on the way out with the other one, I was probably a little bit more to the right, but pretty darn close. And you know, we're getting ready to pass somebody in their boat there. It looks like they're turning around. There's going to be a ton of boats out here this weekend, I'll tell you that. So yeah, we're getting close to how far we were out before, but yeah, I definitely can see that we're getting a much wider view of the reservoir here. So pretty darn cool. And you can see we got some high clouds today. By this evening, we're supposed to see some thunderstorms. So we'll see how that goes. And then tomorrow, which will be the Friday before Memorial Day, we're supposed to get a little bit of rain, which concerns me because I'm going to be out at the racetrack, hopefully racing, and the rain will put a stop to that. Okay, this is about as far as we went with the drone without the wide angle filter on it. So let's bring it back and we'll center up on the peninsula here that I'm standing on, or the Viewpoint. There's the Viewpoint. I went just a little bit far. We're going to throw this guy in sport mode and full stick forward. And I hear another helicopter, but he is way up there. And we're coming back pretty fast here, again, 21 meters per second. So this gives you kind of a good view of what you can see with the drone. Yeah, that helicopter, he is not all that high. But I got eyes on him, and we are way away from where he is at. And we're almost in here. Bring it down here, and we'll just take a look. And then I'm going to back the drone off, and we're going to see if we can get that precision landing. So I'm looking at this helicopter, and he is really dropping in altitude right now. That's why you got to keep your eyes open. Now he's way away from me, so not even close, but you know, he's flying right over the top of the dam, which if I have my drone, that's called critical infrastructure. You're not supposed to do that. But a guy in a big helicopter, yeah, he can do that. Okay. In fact, you could probably see him on the screen here right now. So anyway, I'm backing the drone up, and we're going to see if we can get a precision landing. Let me throw it back in normal mode. We're going to hit RTH, and we gave it a good look at the landing pad, so just for the fun of it, let's just see what it does. 33% battery, so we are in really good shape battery power wise. Well, let me drop the camera down as we get closer here so you can take a look. And we got a car pulling in just as we're coming in for a landing. So let's just see how this guy does. I'll cancel if it looks like it's going to miss or put us in a bad situation. Remember, that pause button is your friend. But what I'm going to tell you is often, yeah, look at it's moving over. Yeah, it's going to hit it. Yeah, it saw it. It was fun watching it, and it'll pick up the camera here. I'm going to get on the other side here so you can see. So yeah, it picked up the camera, and yeah, I mean, look at that. It's going to hit right in the middle of the, well, not exactly perfectly in the middle, but definitely all four legs on that little landing pad. So anyway, that's pretty cool. That kind of stuff I just think is cool. Okay, let me get everything shut down here and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay guys, the DJI Mavic 3, amazing piece of technology. I know there's a lot of talk about the Mini 3. Mine's going to be here pretty quick, but if you're not worried about being under 250 grams and you got a little bit more money, this is absolutely the drone you want for sure. And then the Freewell anamorphic and wide angle lens kit that includes ND filters. Pretty cool piece of tech. And again, I'll link my anamorphic video that I did with the DJI Air 2S if you would like to take a look at that to see what that anamorphic lens can do for you. But mostly what I wanted to do here today was test out that wide angle lens. While I was going up and down the reservoir here, my screen on my iPhone got pretty darn dark, so you know, it was difficult for me to tell exactly how much wider it looked. So I can't wait to get home and put the SD card into my computer and take a look at that footage. But in any case, I will put a link to this kit down below as well if you'd like to buy one. And yeah, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we will see you on the next one. The DJI Mavic 3 and the Freewell anamorphic and wide angle lens kit for the Mavic 3. See you later.